I'm just going to make sure I'm set up on every single platform. We are streaming live from Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn, everyone. Welcome to the Imana Barina Inc. info session. This info session will be recorded and uploaded to our YouTube site for future reference. But today we're going to get into it to talk about our virtual summer DEI refresher series. So give me a minute. I'm going to make sure that we're streaming live on all of our platforms. And I look forward to talking to you guys. Make sure you talk in the chat. Let's talk to each other. Talk to me. I'm going to answer all of your questions. Hi, Gabrielle. Nice to see you. Welcome. I'm going to play some music. Get us ready to get into it. So give me a second. Let me just make sure that we are live everywhere. Everyone, about 2 minutes to come in. Hello, everyone. Let's chop it up in the chat. This is a networking space. So if you don't know anyone and you see them, please connect with them. Like, this is what makes LinkedIn so amazing and makes it so beautiful. And once again, we are live on Facebook and YouTube, and this will be recorded and placed on YouTube for future reference for anyone who would like to share with their network or wants more information about our virtual summer DEI refresher series. Oh, hello, Pedro. Pedro is a staff member here at Imana Barina. Everyone, make sure you give him some love. Hi, Erin. Hi, Helen and Roja and Joelle. It's so nice to see you guys. This is awesome. 2 more minutes and then we will get started. So hang in there for me, guys. You guys are tea people, coffee people. I am here with my tea. Shout out to Lehigh. I have so many connects there. People doing great work. Grab your coffee. I know it might be lunchtime, or you might be just taking a small break to get some more information. So make sure that you have your libations, some water, something to keep you refreshed as we go through this info session. My name is Charlene Holmes, and I am the Chief Equity Officer and founder of Imana Barina Inc. And I'm going to give you a little bit of background about the business. And then I'm going to give you some real insights into our summer refresher series that is focused in DEI related principles and practices. I can't wait to get to that part. But I said I'd be remiss to give you an info session and not introduce you to me, and also introduce you to our staff who is in the room. And our other staff member was not able to be with us, but please send our prayers out to them. They lost a family member. So we are praying for you, Vidal. We love you, and we thank you for all you do for Imana Barina Inc. So let's get into it. I'm going to go back and forth from this big version to the smaller version because I do want to give you guys an opportunity to read our slides for yourself and ensure that I'm answering all of your questions. So once again, the name of the company is Imana Barina Inc. A lot of people think my name is Imana, but my name is actually Charlene C. Holmes, and I'm the Chief Equity Officer and founder. So let's get into our slides for today. Welcome to Imana Barina. Now, Imana Barina is a Christian-based, dynamic, and forward-thinking innovation incubator for diversity, equity, and inclusion best practices. So we infuse Christian principles of equity and righteousness into the landscape of DEI and anti-racism. Now, we are fully trained anti-racists, and we have those best practices and principles, and we're more than equipped to be able to deliver impactful training, strategy development to organizations and individuals who are interested in having a transformative environment, not only for themselves and their scope of work, but for their internal and external stakeholders and constituents. So we do strategy development, we do training. What you're going to experience if you sign up for our virtual summer DEI refresher series is our larger organizational trainings. We've scaled them down to a personal scope of work. Because at Imana Barrena, we really believe that it's one professional at a time. We can lean on organizations to take the larger part of that work through assessing policy and procedure, but it's up to us to champion what righteousness and equity looks like in our work so that we can be more effective in infusing diversity, equity, and inclusion and anti-racism principles. Guys, DEI, DEIJ, DEIB. I know you guys know all the acronyms, and we're gonna get into all of that in a little bit. But I just wanted to give you guys a welcome to our organization and let you know really what we're about. Now, these AirPods, they never stay in my ears. If you watch my podcast, you know they're always falling out. So excuse me. Next, I want to give you like a little bit of an about. I'll give you a brief version. We offer digital workshops, virtual, as you know, self-guided trainings, the ability to do coursework at your own pace. We give one-on-one confidential coaching. Our one-on-one confidential coaching is rooted in diversity, equity, and inclusion and anti-racism. We're not the professional coach or the career coach. We're really that organization that provides you with a landscape of how to execute your own personal DEI goals. That means if you are an executive sitting as a chief diversity officer, or if you're the CEO of a company and you need to understand how to infuse principles, or if you're that DEI person or want to be that DEI go-to person in your organization, we coach you through the strategy on how to navigate system structures, policies, procedures, and things that come with that landscape of DEI and infusing those principles. So that's what our coaching is really focused on. And we have a confidential space in our coaching. We believe in psychological safety. A lot of the times when you're doing diversity, equity, and inclusion work, and it's so politicized, people may feel unsafe in environments. So we ensure that our confidential coaching nature provides a safe environment for all constituents, both myself and Vidal as our other coach, to be able to work with you freely and, have that, well, what if I say something wrong? Well, that's okay, because as coaches, we're supposed to help you work through that piece. Like I said, we also do the large and small strategy development that includes a lot of different framework developments and implementation, and obviously our policy analysis. I'm going to introduce you guys to our team member, Vidal Richard Holloway, who has currently joined us as our chief policy officer. He's focused on policy analysis as well as assessment and reassessment of policy. At Imana Barrena, we believe that there's no way for us to really infuse DEI principles if we're not addressing policy, if we're not addressing those systems and structures at a macro level. So Vidal comes in that area. And obviously engaging keynotes, healing dialogues, and we're contracted with other organizations around the country. So you get like a lot from us. And through these services, we strive to cultivate those inclusive workplaces where all voices are not heard, but they're valued, and individuals are treated equitably. And, all identities are championed. I really believe, somebody told me I had the Mariah Carey version. I mean, I was like, y'all came for me, okay? Let me talk to you guys real quick. Somebody came for me and told me I had the Mariah Carey version. And I feel like being based in Christian principles, that is not a blue sky situation. I feel like one organization at a time can adopt righteousness and equity principles and infuse them into their organizations where people can feel championed in their many facets and their many identities. I don't know where we got off track with that, but our workplaces should be just as safe as our homes. We spend most of our time in the workplace exchanging, or in the marketplace for that as well, exchanging our time for money. I should be able to be myself in that space, and you should be able to be yourself in that space, and we should be able to coexist together with a shared lens. And that is what Imana Barrena is about. Now, getting back to our slides here, I just wanted to make sure I talk to you. It's our belief that, like I said, we infuse Christian values of righteousness and equity into our comprehensive services. And we create a transformative environment, and we want to uplift the dignity and the cultures of all individuals. You know, I believe when Jesus Christ came, like he was like, hey, listen, I'm an equal opportunist. Like everybody has access to me, and he never turned anyone away. And I believe that for all of our workplaces, that our people who come with their talents, their gifts, you know, their treasures. As someone that does career coaching, Sierra Ramos, she says your talents, your gifts, your treasures, you should be able to pour those into an organization, building someone else's dreams oftentimes in a safe psychological environment where policies and procedures and individuals do not harm you in that space. So we champion that as our belief at Imana Barena Inc. So I want to talk to you about our foundational scriptures, because I'm not just going to tote around that we infuse Christian principles and not give you what our principles are. Psalms 82, 3 and 4, defend the poor and fatherless, do justice to the afflicted and needy, deliver the poor and needy, free them from the hand of the wicked. And Isaiah 1 and 17, learn to do right, seek justice, defend the oppressed, take up the cause of the fatherless, and plead the case for the widow. This is our commandment, right? We are supposed to look out for those who cannot look out for themselves. So at every moment in Imana Barena, we center the experiences of those who don't have a voice. We center the experiences of those who are not invited to the table, but should be at that table. So myself and Vidal have extensive lived experiences that we've used as case studies, and we've used theory and practice to play around with different ways to implement structures that allow for the centering of the experiences of those who we are oftentimes historically ignored or underrepresented in organizations. So this is our foundation, and we're going to stick to that. We're not going to move from that. And you don't have to be a Christian organization to live righteously and equitably, right? Like, we choose to be a faith-based organization, but if your organization is just looking to do right by people, then we're the people for you. And if you are an individual that just wants to learn how to walk, breathe, and live, you know, DEI and anti-racism, then we're the organization for you, because we believe that this is an everyday occurrence. It's not something that you just put off on the shelf when you get home and you close your windows. It's a lifestyle. So our vision and mission is to create a world where DEI is embraced fundamentally in our pillars of every organization, rooted in the principles of equity, righteousness, and love. We want to give unique contributions to individuals, dismantle systemic barriers, and foster a sense of belonging for all. I feel like any organization that needs a business case for that, in terms of what would be my return on investment in a monetary sense, let's just talk about retaining your staff and them being able to stay and feel good. When your staff literally feels championed and loved, you can see that your return on investment means your profit index increases, and you're able to produce more. You're able to, you know, have more clients. Your clients are happier when your staff is happier. And that is just a fundamental principle that we believe in. Our mission is to partner with organizations on their journey, providing these services and, providing the services through our digital workshops and things of that nature. And it's guided by our commitment to equity and the love of Christ. So together, we strive to build a more equitable and inclusive future for all of us that are anchored in Christian foundations. Now, our services, I'll go through this really, really quickly. We have, like I said, the executive professional coaching. We have the organizational strategy development and training. And then we have framework development and policy analysis. The executive and professional coaching is where we do that one-on-one. The organizational strategy, framework development, and policy analysis is where we take that larger organizational scope and we look to infuse its principles in everyday operations. I don't know if you guys know, but most organizations are operating still, even after, some recommendations have gone out nationally and even globally, are operating still through having DEI infused in their human resources department. That has proven to not be necessarily helpful and has caused some type of retaliation to people who come from historically ignored groups. Human resources is rooted inherently in white supremacy practices. And I say white supremacy as a practitioner, not as a means to identify someone. It is the ideology thereof. And that's a part of words have meaning, which if you got a little shook up on that word, perhaps you should come to words have meaning so we can make you a practitioner or make a practitioner out of you. But as I said, we look to infuse this into everyday scope of work, which means technically DEI could be operations. I mean, operations is the foundation of how an organization stays afloat, whether it be finances, whether it be, internal practices, policies, procedures, things of that nature. You want to look at DEI as the operational foundation of your organization. And Imana Barrena helps you get to that space by creating that strategy, that development, that training, and that framework and policy analysis. And we're very proud of it. So our impact and approach, man, guys, I don't know if you see this picture on the bottom. I want you all to know that these are the young lives that Imana Barrena has been able to touch. And this is just a small piece. This past year, I did pass the mic and I made Black history, just being authentic. And I worked with CARES of New York for their transforming the homeless response system through the lens of racial equity. And I was a collaborator with DeQuetta P. Jones. And, we will be doing that again this year. And it's just looking at structural shifts and cultural changes, clear objective development and policy analysis, looking at things through a critical lens. Evaluation and reassessment is very, very important. Creating assessments to, benchmark progress and benchmark where organizations might need to pivot. Empowering each professional to champion their own scope of work. This is where my personal wheelhouse is. Imana Barrena can do that large strategy development. But when you work personally with me, my goal is to ensure that every single individual feels empowered in their own scope of work. They have the language, they have the frameworks, they have the way to implement, they have the way to execute. We ensure that happens. And, that is something that we take a lot of pride in. Now, our success stories. I wanted to give you guys a little statistic that we found, that there was a business case for, and an AI ran organization did some research that if there was a 10%, what they found in organizations and they polled 1,000 organizations across the country, that if they found a 10% increase in equity practice as a perception to the employees, they found a 4.4% increase in employee retention rates. So if an employee saw that there was an executable move in the direction of equity practices, they were 4.4 times more likely to stay at that organization. And so some of our success stories, and I'll say this because some of the organizations we work with are confidential, so I'm not going to shout them out. I'm just going to talk about what we did. Employee resource group development. We have the success stories to show that we were able to create those. And what we do with employee resource groups is we move from that space where, okay, I have a shared identity, maybe we can have fun, to providing that ERG with an opportunity to address policies and barriers in those policies that hindered them from being successful in that ecosystem. Recruitment and retention strategy and development. I mean, from going to the job description. I don't know about you guys, but I was just in a meeting. Sometimes the job description will deter a person who identifies as a historically ignored group from applying to a position. Sometimes the language alone in a job description can be seriously harmful. We've created train-the-trainer models where, we have a cohort of individuals and then they go out and permeate across their ecosystem. And then actively centering the experiences of historically ignored groups. I have, and Vidal has, and Pedro has. At this point, we have mastered centering the experiences of historically ignored groups in conversation, in policy analysis, in training, and so on and so forth. Now, meet the team. All right, guys. So we have a dynamic team. It's myself. I'm the Chief Equity Officer, and I am the Chief Executive Officer, but I felt like Equity Officer fits better for our organization. So I'm the Chief Equity Officer. Vidal is our Chief Policy Officer, and Pedro De Jesus is our Social Media and Content Manager. If you like our content and our social media, that is all him. He has inspired all of it, created our logo, created our colors. I mean, we could not do this without Pedro. And so we thank him so much for everything he's done. We're looking to expand our team. And, we definitely want to be in a space where we're able to train. Our organization becomes a train-the-trainer model. So we can't do that without you. Support us, right? Support us in our endeavors to permeate our perspective and approach across this nation and across this globe into every organization across the country and across the globe. So thank you guys so much. But this is our team. And once again, prayers to Vidal. Vidal lost a loved one. So we're praying for you, brother. We love you. All right. All right. Now let's get into the virtual summer DEI refresher series. Now, while you're here, I went in for a while. Forgive me. I got 5 minutes left of your time. I said I'm going to keep y'all at 30 minutes. I promise 30 minutes. Now, getting familiar. Okay, let's stop. Virtual Summer DEI Refresher Series is for any individual seeking to advance their lens in DEI. You can come, I have people signing up from all over the country in all different industries. So please do not feel that you need to be with a group of individuals that think just like you in order to do this work, because we want you to be able to troubleshoot issues together. So first foundational thing is come to the workshop series. Come to the series with an issue or with something that you'd like to enhance so that you can get something out of it. Do not come to the series like, all right, I'm just going to listen. This is not one of those things. We're going to put you to work for 2 hours from 12 to 2 p.m. Eastern on June 20th, July 11th, July 31st. And this is during your workday. We are strongly encouraging organizations to prioritize the attendance of multiple staff members and provide financial support for their registration. Please reach out. We have group rates. But let me get into it for you guys. Getting familiar with terminology. Now, I have a workshop that a lot of people request for me to, train them on, and it's called Words Have Meaning. And Words Have Meaning, it aims to familiarize you with key terminology, used in the field, but most importantly, it helps you develop the necessary knowledge, language skills, and knowledge to engage in meaningful conversations, but not just conversations. Sometimes there might be an occurrence that happens in an ecosystem, but you don't have the language to describe it. Words Have Meaning puts you through a series of activities and familiarizes you with the language so that now you're able to use that language to describe what's happening, articulate yourself in an empowered way. Most of the time when I'm in spaces, conversations are not happening with the individuals who identify as underrepresented. They're happening around them. So this is to help you get to that space. So I want to empower you. And for those of you who already have the language and the knowledge, are you using it and infusing it into all of your materials? I know we have some lawyers in the building. Are you infusing DEI related terminology into your depositions? Am I saying that properly? Hit me in the comments, Brenda, if I said that properly. Are we using that terminology to draw up our case notes for individuals that we're working for? Or are we using disenfranchising language to do so? So there are many ways for us to do Words Have Meaning and getting familiar with terminology. Once again, as I said, we're taking that larger training for organizations and scaling it to your personal scope of work. The next one is I need a strategy. A lot of individuals do not have a personal strategy when it comes to DEI. And you do not have to be the chief diversity officer, director of DEI, associate director. You don't have to have DEI on your title in order for you to have a strategy on how to align your organizational goals with DEI best practices and principles. So in this one, you'll get a comprehensive understanding of DEI strategies and learn how to develop your strategy and create an action plan to implement for your own personal scope of work. And so I'll give you a template. We'll walk through the template together. I do want to stop here and just say our summer refresher series is not, you're not going to be lectured the whole time. You're really going to be working on what you deem as that's something that's a priority to you. I placed a poll question in two of the think tank groups that I'm a part of on LinkedIn, and it was like, how are you more likely to look out for professional development opportunities related to DEI for yourself, or are you looking for your organization to do it? 83% of the polls, and I think I polled about 500 people voted, said that they're likely to seek opportunities for themselves. So as you do this, please do not think that you're going to be able to come into this space and intellectualize. You will work, and you will work with other people that are looking to do the same thing, so you won't be alone. The last one is creating a culture of equity. And this is for, any individual who's interested, but this is really like culture change management. And it was going to equip you with the tools to create a culture of equity in your organization. And one of those principles is being able to infuse those new practices with low inertia, if that makes sense, with low energy. You're introducing it to the organization. The organization, those who work very closely in these areas will champion it. And now it starts to permeate throughout your ecosystem. So you're going to adopt and learn these strategies, and we're going to scale them into your personal scope of work. So now that you're modeling the behavior in your organizations versus having to fight against the grain to get your organization to move in this direction. Now, if you have any questions, drop them in the comments, because I literally was talking for 30 minutes. Okay, you guys, I need to sip my tea. Now, here is where, if you're interested, you can scan these QR codes, and they will take you to our various ways to register. Everyone will need to register for this. There are scholarships that are available if you find yourself in a financial barrier, or if you know someone who has a financial barrier. Please reach out to info@imanabarena.org, or you can fill out the contact sheet on our website. I don't want finances to be a barrier to this refresher series. Everyone should be able to have access to this. I'm not gonna at Imana Barena, we're not interested in creating nepotism or creating barriers that are already present for individuals. We don't want to do that. We want to alleviate and eliminate barriers. So please, if you have a financial barrier, reach out. We have scholarships available to you. And then I'd love, to thank our sponsors. So this is where organizations, we're pushing on you. These organizations, the Bridge International and the YWCA of the Capital Region of New York, have committed to sending their teams to our DEI refresher series. I mean, come on, like there's no other commitment than that. We had people commit in 2020, and where's the money? Now, I'm just kidding. But seriously, if you are an organization and you would like to either sponsor the event and you get free registrations for your staff, or you would like the group rate to enroll some of your staff members, reach out. Fill out our contact sheet. We can create a nice curated package for you where your staff can come and troubleshoot with others on these DEI related principles. And I believe that is it. Here's our contact information, guys. If you need to reach out to me, please let me know. We are so excited. Our workshop series, our refresher series pops off next week, Tuesday at 12 p.m. You will get a calendar invite with the link. We're asking that you do not share the link if the person did not pay unless you have permission. But yes, we are popping off next week, June 20th. Get your tickets. I'm capping the rooms because I want us to be able to troubleshoot together and have meaningful dialogue about these different topics. So please register today because time's running out, guys. If you have any questions, reach out to me. Shout out to everybody who came. Helen, Ciara, Brenda. I saw Tessina. I saw Erin, Roja, Joelle, Gabrielle. And those of you who are watching on YouTube, thank you so much. We really appreciate you. We appreciate your business and your time. Now, guys, be blessed. May the Lord bless you and may heaven smile upon you. All right, guys? Peace.